You used to train over at Factory X Muay Thai, correct?
Yes.
And you went over it. So this is just for my little bit of homework. I got to do a little bit of homework, right?
Yeah.
Then you decide, all right, let me go to Elevation Fight Team because I need more female sparring partners. I need more female people I could just work
Right.
with, right? And, that's very important. I mean, obviously, you
Yeah.
can't just train with dudes and expect to have that same performance on the females.
Exactly.
But with that being said, what is one of those misconceptions that people have about big gyms, big name gyms, I guess I should say, excuse me, that you found not to be true? Because it seems like there's an intimidation factor. It's like, oh, like that's a big name gym. I don't know
Yeah.
if I can just go in there and start training.
Right.
What's a misconception?
I think honestly, the intimidation factor, like that definitely is a misconception. Because even me, like going to Elevation, all these, you walk in and you see all these freaking UFC stars, and you're just like, oh my god, like what do I do? And it's so different. Like everybody is so nice and so welcoming. I think that is a huge misconception. If anybody is seeing this and they're thinking about going to a big gym but they're scared, just do it. Like just do it. You know what I mean? Like honestly, and I tell people this, I'm like, whatever scares you the most, do that thing. You know what I mean? Like you'll probably get the most success out of that. Yeah, and I would just say the intimidation part, like it's really not that scary. If anything, you'll be like scared for the first 5 seconds. You walk in, nobody knows you. But you start training, the more you bond with people, like they're just people at the end of the day. They're just people. And so yeah, I would say that's the biggest thing, like just being scared and feeling like you won't fit in, feeling like you're not good enough and blah blah blah. No, I mean, it also depends on whatever gym you're going to, but for my experience, it was always super, everybody was super welcoming, because I honestly, coming into Elevation, I wasn't really known. I wasn't well known. Like I knew one of the girls from Texas, but that's really the only person I knew.
Sure.
People, I'm like, oh, I'm Kai. They're like, who is that? Who are you? So I had that feeling too going in. I'm like, man, there's these, like Rose Namajunas, Justin Gaethje, all these people. You're just like, wow, I can't, train with them if I'm not on that level. And it's really not like that. Like they're super cool. They spar with everybody. They train with everybody. So I would say just do it. Don't be scared. Just do it.
For sure. No, and real quick, give me some personal advice because I'm out here in Portland, Oregon right now. I'm actually moving out there to Nevada, over there by Vegas. So it's all the gyms out there. What happens if I want to walk into an Extreme Couture and be like, yo, what's up? Let me get in there. They're going to be if you don't get the hell out of here or something. You give me some advice. If I want to go in there or I want to go to a jiu-jitsu gym or something like that, man, you just walk in. Obviously, who am I? I'm Joe Blow off the street. I don't want to be a UFC fighter, you know what I mean?
Right.
But training is important. I think it's a good discipline for life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what advice you got for me?
Honestly, the advice I would say, because when you see a lot of, and I've had this from personal experience, you see people that, don't really train heavy and like you said, their goal isn't really to be a UFC fighter, like a champion or anything. They just want to train. I would say just come in respectful and come in humble. Like that's the biggest thing. Like because a lot of guys in these bigger gyms, you have people come in like, oh, I found you on so-and-so and I want to do this and I want to do that. And they're just like, bro, you know what I mean? So as long as you're respectful and you're teachable and you're humble, I think that gets you respect right off the bat. And they're like, okay, this guy is serious about it. He really wants to learn. He's not coming in being like super arrogant, like, oh, I watch UFC, like blah, blah, blah. So, you know what I mean? So I think you'll be totally fine. Because like I said, people, like a big misconception about MMA and MMA fighters, like they're some of the nicest people I've ever met. You know what I mean? Like the nicest people I've ever met. So I think it's just a matter of, like I said, coming in respectful, coming in teachable, and you'll get what you're looking for. You know what I mean? And I think anybody with anything, you have to like bounce around and kind of like find what fits for you. Because I did that same thing. Like I had to bounce around a little while and kind of gym hop and see, but you'll find that place and you'll find like that gym that you feel like you really mesh well with. So I think I would just say don't settle. Like don't settle. You just like keep moving around and like find whatever gym you feel. You know what I mean?
It's funny that you say that because I was frequenting a boxing gym out here in Portland, Standing Eight's boxing gym. Shout out to them. And when I talked to the head coach, Mike, he's the owner of the gym, and I asked him the same question I just asked you. I'm like, hey, do you have any advice for me? I'm going out there. How should I approach these people? He said literally the exact same thing. Like literally.
Really?
Yeah. So,
wow.
Especially the never settle part. He was all like, don't settle. You don't want to get into a gym that, doesn't have the greatest cast of characters. Right. And I don't mean big popular names. Just, there's some shady characters in any business. You know what I mean? So just be careful. And I thought it was really like, okay, shout out, that's good, wise advice. And I think you can apply that anywhere in anything that you do.
Exactly.
Just come correct,
Exactly.
So
you.